Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine was not that good. It had very little character development, little to no laugh out loud moments, and an extremely thin veil of a meaningful theme. While the action was simply fantastic, it does not make up for this movie being slow paced and randomly patched together. I don't normally review live action entertainment, but by special request of a friend, I am letting everyone know my thoughts on this Deadpool film. I hate to criticize live action stuff because I have no idea what good acting or good directing is when it comes to real life people. Most of the time, I like to simply say that I did or did not enjoy it and talk about the meaning of the movie. I think that is what is one of the biggest points that is stressed in this third installment though. Deadpool goes on a journey to save his universe, and while that's a noble endeavor, he really only does it because he wants to matter in some way. Sure, he wants to protect his self-created family, but he feels that existential dread of not being something more than a guy who gets revenge or a mercenary for hire. I totally understand this though, since we all go through that time where we don't think our life is going where we think it should. I often question my exact purpose on this planet, and so I like the fact that this film is dedicated to answering that question for Wade Wilson. However, there is no expounding upon that philosophical journey. It resolves itself quite easily in the end. It's unfortunate that we didn't get more development from his character, but at least we got some Wolverine redemption. Logan gets a subplot dedicated to him, which I initially was interested in until they basically did not show us what happened with his past. It is mentioned, but this is one of those times where we should have been shown that tragedy rather than just having a few lines of dialogue dedicated to it. But hey, let's talk about something that I actually liked: the action. Oh boy, the action was really great. Wolverine and Deadpool's healing factors were used in such shocking and interesting ways that I enjoyed seeing how they interacted with each other and the outside world. They will fight in unorthodox movements since they abuse their powers when it comes to regeneration and regrowth. The opening sequence is also a slightly funny action scene set to the tune of NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. I especially loved the ending fight with the multiple Deadpool characters as they filmed it in a very different way than normal. The camera angle was that of a retro side scroller, and honestly it felt very satisfying to see Deadpool and Wolverine work together in a quasi video game style, since we mostly see them fighting each other out of annoyance in any scene before that. Now we have to talk about the comedy, unfortunately. What can I say? Ryan Reynolds essentially improvises witty retorts throughout 90% of this movie. If you don't like him or gross/shocking humor, then you will not want to see this film. I think there are tons of great references, callbacks, and subtle jokes that land very well and gave me a chuckle. There were 2 or 3 instances where I did laugh out loud, but even the rest of the audience was not laughing much throughout the runtime. It seemed like everyone was just there because we were told it was gonna be a great movie. While it was fine, it definitely was not worth the praise that preceded it. I do think, though, my favorite joke was when they drove this van that had the coexist sticker on the back of it, but they were obviously committing ironic violence against others while driving the van. It was very subtle until they did a huge close-up shot of the bumper sticker, which just made the joke seem tasteless. Ooh, look, did you see it? Did you see the joke? We saw the joke, dude. We're not idiots. Deadpool and Wolverine was just so blatant and outspoken about their references that they basically said, hey, you remember this guy, right? Like he was in that movie. Yes, that movie that you were thinking about? That movie. Bruh, we're not that dumb. We understand the reference that you are making. The comedy definitely lacked subtlety, to say the least. And now the plot. It could have been really great if we actually got Wolverine's full-blooded backstory for his tragic fall from grace, but we just never did. I think that the whole Cassandra Nova villain plot was rushed, lazy, and not explained well. Like, no one knows who this villain is, and you're going to introduce her in the 3rd Deadpool movie? What? Although I completely understand that this film was a parody of the Marvel formula, that didn't help its case. No matter how much you tell me it's a parody, it doesn't excuse the fact that the plot was choppy and horribly patched together. Overall, Deadpool and Wolverine was fine. I think it's hard to create a third movie of any franchise, let alone an action comedy that has a very niche comedic style. I will never need to watch this movie again, but was it worth watching in the first place? I am having a very difficult time answering that question. I think I have to say yes, it was worth watching. I've debated back and forth what score it deserves, but I'm gonna land on 4.95 out of 10. If you watch it just for the sake of watching a movie, okay, sure, you won't spend the rest of your life regretting it, but you won't say it was the best movie ever or even a great movie. It's not exactly mid though. If 4 out of 10 is bad, it was almost decent enough to warrant a dead center score from 1 to 10. If you guys like me reviewing live action movies and TV, please comment down below and tell me. What did you all think of Deadpool and Wolverine? Let me know.